Americans are one of the hardest working people on the face of this planet. On average, we spend about 47 hours a week working, while people in Europe will spend an average of 35 hours working a week. We have shorter vacation time, so we have about 14 days on average a year of vacation time. People in Europe have on average 30 days of vacation time. And the time that our students or we spent in the classroom per day is equivalent to the amount of time that students in China spend in the classroom a day. That's China, guys. China is communist, by the way, if you didn't know. But the point is that because of all of this time we spend working and not vacationing, we get burnt out very easily and very quickly. So in this video, we're going to talk about why one should take the month of December off, or why it may not be a good idea to take the month of December off. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons between both of those. I'm going to share you some of the stuff that I've discovered, some of the research I've done, and you can make up your mind based on what I share with you guys. And leave the comments down in the comment section down below so I can read them. We can have a discussion, all the things, because it's such a fun topic to talk about. Just let me know what you guys decide. What are you doing this month? So it's December. It's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, it's baking, it's food, it's parties, it's families, it's gift giving, it's traveling, and it's really busy. There is no other season on the calendar that could even come close to what we experience in the month of December. So let's kind of look at what's going on from an educational standpoint, because you know, I used to be a teacher and all the things, and let's just look at it very educationally, because like seriously, we're homeschooling right now, which is very different than the public school education, and we really do need to get our brains out of that mindset. But I am going to look at this a little educationally right now, okay? So bear with me. There's a point. There's a point to it. All right, so during this time of year, we may be traveling. We may be going across the nation or even on an airplane to visit family and friends. That's an opportunity for you to teach your kids about the importance of travel safety and packing and just geography. You could look out the window in the plane and start pointing things out that they may or may not have ever seen. Or the car. There's a whole experience that goes along with traveling that's very educational, that you can't find in the classroom. Talking about packing and organizing, it's very practical. There's also this idea of gift giving and card giving and seeing friends and families. Let's call that social interactions. But guys, in reality, your family, besides your faith, is the most important thing for a child, for anyone. You need to learn how to cherish those times together, whether it's talking to grandma about the past, baking together, even creating crafts and gifts for loved ones, just really seeking out who they are, getting to know them from a distance and thinking about what would be best for them. What would they really, really enjoy from you, and thinking about them as opposed to you all the time. Thinking about others, giving, sharing, loving, all of that is very educational. And you can slap the, I guess you could slap a sociology, maybe social skills, volunteer, humanitarianism. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of like educational terms to slap on if you need that justification, but you really don't. We don't need to worry about, because that right there, loving family, loving friends, all of that is extremely, extremely important. But I'm going to go on because there's more. All right. Going back to cards. Okay. A lot of us do Christmas cards. I'm sorry. Stamps have gotten like ridiculously expensive. I love doing Christmas cards. I love doing Christmas cards with my family and teaching them how to address a label, like, you know, old school, like envelopes and labels and, you know, snail mail. Like, you got to know how to address an envelope and how to write. You're actually practicing writing skills when they're writing on the envelope or writing the things inside the card. You're composing letters. So in and of itself, that right there is education. Of course, that ties in with gifts. I did talk a little bit about gifts. Have you guys ever had the kids decorate wrapping paper, by the way? That's really fun to do. Create their own wrapping paper on like a white sheet of paper, or you can buy rolls that are drawable and you can decorate your own wrapping paper. That's really fun. Culture, okay? Culture is humanities and social science. understanding your culture, your family culture, American culture. If you're not in America, I know at the beginning I addressed Americans, but other people celebrate Christmas. So maybe in Australia, for example, I mean, okay, I like to watch Bluey. Who doesn't like to watch Bluey? They're in Australia and they're swimming during Christmas. That's culture right there. What do they do on Christmas? They go to the pool. It's like 4th of July in Australia without the fireworks. They might have fireworks. I don't know. But the point is, we can learn about each other's culture when it comes to how people celebrate Christmas differently around the world. That's really interesting. If you live in Florida, go to Epcot Center. I think they still have the Santa Claus around the world. And embracing our culture and understanding, why we do the things that we do, which tie into faith. Because there is a difference between faith and culture. A lot of the things that we do culturally, it's tied into faith. Because, we may have the same faith and believe in the same God, the Christian God, and we may celebrate Christmas differently culturally here than we do somewhere else. So, for example, here I am, I believe in the fullness of the Bible, I believe in Jesus as Messiah and deity and all the things, the Trinity, but I celebrate Hanukkah. It's fun. We all have different culture, but similar faith, and it's fun just to talk about these things within reason and within guidelines, of course. We talked about faith, we talked about culture, we talked about family, crafts, gifts, cards, parties. Oh, how I love parties. I really like going to them and throwing them. If you are throwing a Christmas party or a Hanukkah party, this is your chance to teach your kid some planning skills. Get them a party planner or plan together, have them pick out decorations. Just talking about it, shopping together, doing all the things together is life skills, because they're going to want to throw parties and they're going to need to know how to do it. And this is the opportunity to do it. Same thing goes for going to parties. You need to teach them how to have proper etiquette and how to respond, how to say thank you, how to say please, all those things. Proper etiquette. Etiquette. I'm slapping that label on there. Oh, and last but not least, decorating. And when I say decorating, we're talking inside and outside. For our boys that are very physical, not to advocate getting your child up on a 2-story house on a ladder, but I do know parents that do that. Teaching them safety, teaching them the importance of respecting the height. Now, I personally do not like to have my child on a ladder, nor do I advocate getting a young child on the ladder. But as they get older, like if you have a child that's 18, maybe they want to get on a ladder and climb on the roof and put up Christmas lights with their father. But maybe not. Maybe they could just do the Christmas lights in front of the house on the bushes. This is also another opportunity to teach them about circuits. Whether it's parallel or sequence. Those light bulbs go out and then you have to replace them. If it's just one light bulb, it's parallel. If it's taken the whole row out, it's a sequence. Because I know some of you do think this way. You want those labels. You want to justify that's in a textbook because that's how a lot of us were raised. And that is not really what education and schooling is. That is something that's very, very recent, and we need to get our heads out of that. And I know we talk about this a lot. I've got lots of videos where I talk about that. I'll stick one right up here you see it. Education doesn't have to be bookwork. Education is anything that involves learning, and actually kids learn better when it's hands-on and kinesthetic. It becomes a part of them and who they are. It's such a great opportunity to instill that into them. So instead of worrying about whether it's justifiable through slapping different labels on it, seeing if it comes from a textbook, going out and printing up worksheets that are Christmas themed, of course those are great, but don't force it on your child. Don't feel guilty if you didn't do them this year. Do it if they're bored, because there are kids that are going to get bored while you're busy cooking in the kitchen and they are too young to be cooking in the kitchen. Give them a worksheet to do. Give them a puzzle to do that's Christmas themed or faith themed, faith-based themed, or just, turn on YouTube and dance to some songs that help repeat the alphabet, or you know what, number blocks. I'm a fan of number blocks. It's educational. Get them educational toys. This is a great opportunity to bust out that games. Guys, game schooling during this time. That's another thing I love about this season is it gets dark early. I know I shouldn't love this. I love summer. I love summer. I love summer. But I love the fact that it gets dark early because then it feels like nighttime, and then I like playing games at night. There's something about playing games, board games at night, and then you have more time to play board games at night. By the way, I forgot to mention this. If you have a younger kid, like not middle school or high school, not high school, even middle school is considered younger kids in a sense, just read to them, just count some things, craft it up, and cuddle. That's all you need. You know, there's a whole philosophy out there, especially when they're young, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade level. Just read to them because reading to them is going to teach them how to love learning. Because where we get a lot of our education is through reading, through books, and yes, through YouTube, but through books. Okay, so read to them and don't worry about the rest. It all falls into place. It really does. Okay, but why would one not want to take the month of December off? And there are a couple of reasons, and there are a lot of valid reasons that someone may not want to take December off. And one of them could just simply be because they don't really celebrate Christmas and they don't really celebrate Hanukkah, and it's just, you know, what else are they going to do during that time of year? Catch up. It's a great time to catch up if you're not doing anything. There's also the idea of students that are very, very self-motivated, that just want to keep working on things. Let them go. But don't overwhelm them, and also take them away from their work sometimes to teach them some of those practical skills, like, you know, caring about other people. There are some people out there, believe it or not, that are so in love with learning and knowledge, and they're so into the books that they forget to care about other people, and that is a skill that they need to learn. So taking the time out to pull them out of their books and show them the importance of loving others and how to interact with others is so important during this season. There are some students that need a lot of repetition. They just need to keep working in order to hold on information. And for some of those students, those things that they need repetition in, this is a great opportunity to just continue with that repetition. Maybe lighten up the school load a little bit, or maybe all the co-ops and everything close it, because that's what happens during the month of December. Co-ops and home education programs start to close down, and you don't have any sports going on during the month of December. I mean, there are some, but use that time to maybe fill in some gaps with some educational stuff. You might have that opportunity, right? There may be a situation where a child did not do a lot of school during the first part of the year, whether it was a family tragedy, because that does happen, and maybe it was just a situation where they were ill, or maybe you did a lot of traveling. Maybe you had to travel, maybe there was doctor appointment, like just stuff happened where you didn't really get much school. This is an opportunity to catch up, especially if you've been involved with home education programs and they are shut down. You do have that extra time. For all of these kind of situations, I do see this more leaning towards the older group, like high schoolers and maybe middle schoolers. So if you're like, we have to do schoolwork or my child is gonna drive me absolutely nuts, I get it, do your schoolwork. That's why you shouldn't take December off. But for those of you guys that are parents that are like, oh, I'm biting my nails, I don't have time to do schoolwork, I just need to get all this stuff done, and then embrace that time and bring your child into those moments with you. So let me know what you guys are doing, and let me know your thoughts on what is homeschool and what is education to you. What does that mean? And, let me know what you think about the public school mentality. You can also check out my video. I'm going to stick it right over here. I think I have two. I'm going to stick right there because I do talk a lot about it. And I think it is very important for us to de-school as parents. And this is a great opportunity during the month of December to de-school. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this video. And I will see you in my next. Bye.